Thank you so much for being here. Some of you may remember me from last year. My name is Andrew Flackner. I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called Real Scout. And some of you may remember me from last year. I spoke about the differences between generating leads and generating offers. This year, Brad made me promise not to make a mess of his stage. So I got to be real careful, but that's okay. So today I want to talk about something entirely different. I want to talk about a new technology called computer vision. And it'll forever change the way you think about home search. And to make my point, first I'd like to make an analogy around candy. See, growing up I had quite a sweet tooth. Anyone here still have a sweet tooth? Okay, perfect. So you're in luck because under your seat you're going to find a small tin of jelly beans. There's about 500 of them out there, so go ahead and find that now. And if you are not one of the lucky winners, then I'm sure your neighbor will help you out. All right, so again, if you're not one of the lucky winners, that's okay. Sharing is caring. So feel free to open up that container and not shake it like a rattle, because that's going to be really distracting. And when you pop that container open, feel free to enjoy, again, share with your neighbor. So we're going to bring it back now. So when I grew up, not only did I have a sweet tooth, but I also knew that not all candy was created equally. And for me, Jelly Bellies were always my go-to. And I would try to find my favorite flavor in a big jar of jelly beans just like this one. And I'd be combining strawberry jam with peanut butter to make a astronaut version of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Every now and then I would make myself a banana split. And if I was feeling really ambitious, I would make myself a Jelly Belly cocktail hour. And part of the fun for me was carefully identifying the right flavor, because there is nothing worse than mixing up a buttered popcorn for a pina colada. Am I right? All right. So trust me, I did it twice. And a cinnamon for a red apple, a black licorice for a blackberry. Truly unwelcome surprises. And let's face it, as I flip through these photos of jelly beans, how easy is it for you to identify that crushed pineapple or that coconut? How many of these beans have freckles or spots, textures? How many of them are deformed, or as Jelly Belly calls them, belly flops? It's not easy, right? In order to sort out these Jelly Bellies, you'd have to compare them one by one. Maybe you'd have to take a big jar of jelly beans like this and dump them out on a table. And even then, would you remember the texture that delineates a jalapeno from a watermelon? Probably not. So what does this have to do with real estate? I'm sure you're wondering. Well, fast forward 10 years to when I began selling homes. And granted, I know I still look like a child, but it was at this stage of my career that I began flipping through photos in the MLS. Day in and day out, hundreds and hundreds of photos, probably thousands. It felt a lot like sifting through jelly beans, just a lot less fun. And my clients were searching on Realtor.com and Zillow, and they were trying to eliminate properties by flipping through all these photos very quickly. And it's not easy. It's not easy. I mean, think about the photos that I just shared with you. Did that first photo have stainless steel appliances? And what about that second photo? Was there crown molding? And how many of these photos contain French doors or skylights? Again, it's not easy. And so just like a bowl of jelly beans consists of different patterns and colors, houses consist of different rooms. Those rooms consist of different features, hundreds of designs, thousands of styles, tens of thousands of finishes, appliances, and so on. And each one of these little differences could be a deal maker or a deal breaker for one of your clients, just like they could be for a Jelly Belly cocktail hour. And so today, I would like to talk about computer vision. Imagine that these photos could talk. And instead of images looking like this, they look like this. How easy would it be to find that tangerine jelly bean? How simple would it be to find a kitchen that has an island, or pendant lighting, or a wine cellar in the back? If you have a client that is looking for a home with an open floor plan, no problem. There it is. And you might have missed it, but there's built-in speakers in the ceiling and you're in the kitchen. So today I want to talk about computer vision. It is an emerging technology that can effortlessly and quickly make sense of the visual world, right? It can identify my favorite jelly bean flavor within seconds. It can also identify all the homes in the market that have open floor plans. And more importantly, it can make you stand out as a professional with access to the most robust data and most advanced technology in our industry. This technology is already helping keep agents in the center of the transaction, and I'll share how it can do that for you too. But first, let's talk about what it is. So computer vision. It is simply the science of enabling computers to make sense of the visual world. It's technology that processes photos the way humans do. And these innovations have been driven by something called deep learning. It's a technique where computers can learn to solve problems, and more importantly, they become smarter over time. And so as with any deep learning, or any learning rather, deep learning must be first taught, right? And so just like a parent would teach their child that this is a house, well, programmers are teaching computers by using examples. Every single image must first be viewed by a human, checked, cataloged. Sometimes hundreds of thousands, even millions of photos must be required before the models can identify people and faces, and even rooms like bedrooms and bathrooms and living rooms and kitchens. And so this is a pretty ambitious goal. The vision, or the idea, or the goal behind computer vision is to model or replicate human vision using software and hardware at different levels. And while it seems ambitious, I actually think that these computers have a pretty good chance at outperforming us, because ultimately humans are incredibly slow computing machines, especially when it comes to monotonous and mechanical tasks like tagging photos. And so this is something that we were not meant to do. In fact, this is a historical moment by any measure, because by teaching these deep learning algorithms to identify photos, we're essentially giving robots the ability to see the way humans do. Isn't that exciting? Building machines that are guided by cameras. Aren't we machines guided by cameras? And so now we get to cohabitate with these machines, and it's going to send ripple effects in how we live our lives and how we run our businesses. So whether you notice it or not, computer vision is already a part of your daily life. Many of you have seen it being used by Facebook. Facebook uses computer vision to identify that this wonderful woman standing next to me is my fiancée, Julie, who's sitting over here. Computer vision is also being used by Facebook to help vision-impaired people hear their timelines and hear who's interacting with their content, because they can't see it for themselves. I've seen many of you on Snapchat. Anyone use Face Swap? Okay, then you probably know what's coming, and for that I apologize. But I face swapped this morning with Lee Brown, our MC for the week, and here are the results. Terrifying, something you simply can't unsee. And then we are at a real estate conference after all. Obviously, Nest is the maker of the smart thermostat. Nest is also announcing their outdoor home surveillance camera, which can identify if there's a person in front of your door. And this is far more advanced than simple motion detectors. This is semantic vision. It's understanding the context of photos the way we do. And finally, for my last fun example, any wine drinkers in the house? Okay, I figured. So when you scan a bottle of wine using an app called Vivino, you can see what type of wine that is, how much it should cost, what it pairs well with, even ratings and reviews. But what's more interesting than this is the waves that computer vision is causing in the fields of medicine and transportation. In cases ranging from skin cancer to breast cancer, computer vision has identified some types of cancer, or classified certain types of cancer with a 93% accuracy. And so think about what that's the ripple effects and how many lives we'll be able to sell or save with this technology. Not sell. Finally, my favorite example of computer vision is in the world of transportation, right? Self-driving cars are using computer vision here to identify pedestrians and differentiate them from motorists, all in a very dynamic road environment. And so whether you think it's helpful or creepy, Facebook is identifying your photos, and soon it'll completely change the way we sell real estate and the way we search for real estate, because let's face it, home search hasn't evolved much in the past 10 years, right? There are hundreds of data points in every listing that are completely ignored because they're simply trapped in photos. They're hidden. And we all know that consumers want a photocentric experience. They've wanted that since the beginning. But that doesn't mean that they want to search mindlessly, flip mindlessly through their iPad through thousands of photos. It means that they want to search those photos, right? And they say that a photo is worth 1,000 words. Well, guess what? On the portals and in the MLS, photos are worth 0 words until now, because now we can teach these computers to understand the images. And that's going to unlock a treasure trove of data about every listing on the market and make it searchable and consumable. And so we set down this path of using computer vision and home search about a few years ago. And let me share with you our story. In 2012, we began manually creating the types of experiences that we'd ultimately scale using computer vision. In fact, we used human taggers to label more than 10 million photos to teach these models. So in the same way that Google or Facebook use mind-boggling amounts of data for their algorithms, we created this vast data set and tailored it around real estate. And it unlocked some really cool experiences for customers. First, we announced an experimental feature called Feature Search, which for the first time allows a consumer to click on a category of home or a room feature like great outdoors, and see all the homes on the market with large backyards. It is really cool. The same thing applies for updated kitchens, updated bathrooms, and even pools. And so many companies followed in our footsteps. This might look familiar. And in the second feature we announced was Compare. And so Compare, for the first time, allowed consumers to compare 2 or 3 properties that they really like side by side, room by room. And so here you've seen we've automatically positioned all the kitchen photos side by side, all the bathrooms side by side, even the living room side by side. And this is a really beautiful and intuitive way to search for a home. Finally, we reinvented the photo carousel. It turns out that agents are now uploading 50 or 60 photos per listing, which is great. But do you expect your clients, or you for that matter, to flip through 60 photos just to find that image of the bathroom? Well, now you don't have to. You can click on bathroom, see all the bathroom photos in one view. Same thing goes for kitchens and other rooms in the house. And so clearly this makes searching a lot easier, right? It allows consumers to quickly navigate to the rooms that are most important in their search. So this is all what we've accomplished in the past few years in implementing and training this model. What does the future hold? Is it hard to imagine a world where computer vision can predict the marketability of homes or even the sale price? What about fine-grained room classifications like game rooms versus nurseries or decks versus patios? Can we extract the finishes or the building materials out of these photos, like the quality of the carpet or the type of hardwood used in that nursery? What about how well the landscaping has been done in the backyard or even the type of tile used on the patio? Will computer vision in the future tell us the architectural style of home or how long it'll be before you have to replace your roof? What about how lush the landscaping is in the surrounding neighborhood or even how many cars you can fit in the driveway or the garage? And so these techniques can be used to extract data like square footage or construction materials or even neighborhood conditions. And this is all going to bring a lot more transparency to you and your clients. So needless to say, the home search that we created as an industry and that has been made ubiquitous by companies like Zillow and Realtor.com, and now used by hundreds of millions of people, it's going to change once again. And the question is, who will usher in this new era of home search? Will it be brokers and agents? Will associations and MLSs be a little bit slower to adopt this change and allow outsiders and portals to dominate with this technology? I think we'll be able to partner with these outsiders and make it our own. This is our opportunity to embrace change and drive the industry forward. So what does this all mean for you? Well, there is a spectrum between complete autonomy, where robots are guided by cameras, and those skills that make us uniquely human. Self-driving cars, it belongs on the far left of the spectrum. It turns out that these cars are a lot safer when we're not behind the wheel. But what about radiologists? It turns out there's a big part of the spectrum where robots and humans intersect. And this is called man-machine symbiosis. As computer vision becomes better at spotting cancer, for instance, the radiologists with the skills to implement and manage this software are going to be in higher demand. For something as critical as cancer detection, this technology is going to help radiologists perform at higher levels, but a trained professional will always be essential in interpreting the results in the context of various other factors like medical history and symptoms. In the world of real estate, making sense of data, and more importantly, making decisions through this data and through local expertise, those are subtle and highly personal skills the machines can't acquire. And so just like radiologists, the brokers and agents who adopt this technology are going to be naturally able to better serve their clients and will naturally be in higher demand. So the bottom line is this. Computer vision, when matched with an agent's expertise, is setting a new standard in the consumer experience. Okay? It's the only way to experience home buying in 2020. And computer vision is still in its infancy. The true effects of this technology have yet to be seen. But one thing is for sure. Pioneering the use of this technology now is a rare opportunity for our industry to take advantage of it and forever change the nature of home search. Because in this Jelly Belly Bean world of real estate, we have a decision to make. Are we going to take this technology and lead with it, or are we going to sit on the sidelines while someone else sorts our jelly beans? At Real Scout, we're shooting for Willy Wonka status, and we hope you are too. And so enjoy your jelly beans, and thanks for listening.